Update 2. I spent my savings to put my boyfriend through medical school. At his graduation party, in front of his family, he announced he was leaving me, saying, "I'm a doctor now. I need a wife who isn't a waitress." I just smiled and toasted to his success. This morning, the medical board called him about his application, and my phone hasn't stopped ringing. He had stolen entire paragraphs, pages even, from a thesis written by a doctor in Sweden. He had just rephrased a few words here and there. He didn't write that paper. He had stolen it. He was a fraud through and through. That was the moment I stopped loving him. It was like a light switch flipped off in my heart. The man I had sacrificed everything for didn't exist. He was a character in a story I had told myself. In his place was this stranger who was lazy, arrogant, and dishonest. A man who would cheat his way into a profession where people's lives were in his hands. I didn't confront him. The old me would have. The old me would have cried and yelled. But the new me, the me that was born in that moment, was cold and quiet. I knew what I had to do. I spent the next few weeks gathering my evidence. I forwarded the emails to a new secret email account I made. I downloaded the entire contents of that USB drive. I took screenshots of everything. I was no longer his girlfriend. I was a prosecutor building a case. I let him finish the year. I watched him take his final exams knowing he had the answers. I watched him submit his stolen paper. I even helped him address the invitations for his graduation party. I smiled and played the part of the proud, supportive girlfriend. I wanted him to get to the very top of the mountain. I wanted him to feel completely untouchable. I knew the fall would be that much harder. So last night at the party, when he stood up to make his speech, I was ready. I stood next to him smiling while he thanked his family and professors. Then he turned to me. The whole room was watching. And finally, he said, his voice full of this fake emotion, "I want to thank Clara." He paused for dramatic effect. "She's been a huge support, but as we all know, chapters end. My life is moving in a new direction, and that direction requires a partner who is my equal." He took a small step away from me physically, creating a space between us for everyone to see. "I'm a doctor now," he announced like he was the first person in history to ever achieve it. "And I need a wife who isn't a waitress." The silence in the room was deafening. I could see his mother's horrified face, his father's embarrassment, but I also saw a few of his rich friends trying to hide their smirks. This was the punchline to a joke they had all been in on. And then he delivered the final blow, looking not at me, but at the crowd. "A girl like you should be grateful I let you come along for the ride." And that's when I smiled, a real genuine smile, because I knew that a thick manila envelope is sitting in a mailbox addressed to the State Medical Licensing Board. I knew that the ride was about to get very, very bumpy for him. I raised my champagne flute, my hand wasn't even shaking. "To Alex," I said, my voice clear and loud. "May you get everything you truly deserve." I set the glass down, turned around, and walked out of that party. I didn't look back. I didn't need to. I knew the chaos would find him soon enough. And judging by the state of my phone this morning, it has. First update, hey guys, it's been 3 days since I posted. First of all, thank you so much for all the supportive comments. I literally read every single one of them, and it really helped me get through the first day after the party from hell. I pretty much just turned my phone off, ordered a giant pizza, and watched garbage reality TV until I fell asleep. When I woke up, for a split second, I forgot what had happened. I saw the den on the other side of the bed and thought, oh, Alex must have gotten up early. And then it all came crashing back down. And I have to admit, I cried. I think I was crying for the guy I used to love, the one who disappeared a long time ago. But after that, a weird feeling started to creep in. It was relief. For the first time in 6 years, I didn't have to think about someone else's needs before my own. The feeling was so new, I almost didn't recognize it. So, I finally turned my phone back on, and it was a complete circus. I had about 50 notifications. The voicemails from his mom, Eleanor, were a trip. The first one was just her crying, saying, "Clara, please call me. There's been a terrible mistake with Alex's license thing. We need to clear this up." The next one, a few hours later, was way more frantic. I could hear his dad, Robert, in the background. She was saying, "Clara, Alex just got an email from the university. They're reviewing his degree for academic misconduct. What is going on? Did you say something to someone?" The last one was just her sobbing. "He won't come out of his room. Clara, please just tell me what you know." Then there were the texts from Alex. Oh, boy. They were a journey. They started out furious. "What did you do? You are ruining my entire life. I will sue you for this." Then they moved to panicked. "Clara, they are talking about taking my degree away. My life is over. This is all your fault." Then came the attempts of gaslighting. "I know I hurt you, but you are taking this too far. I was just stressed out. You know, I didn't mean it." And finally, the pleading. "Okay, I'm sorry. I was a jerk. Please just help me fix this. I can't lose everything. We can talk about it. I still love you." I actually laughed out loud at that last one. I still love you. The nerve of this guy. I just hit the block button. I blocked him on everything. His friends, too. I didn't need to see their confused posts about what was happening with their star doctor. His sister Chloe sent me a text that was different from the others. She's always been the most normal one in that family. Her text just said, "Hey, Clara, I don't know what's happening with Alex in the school, but I do know that what he did to you at that party was the cruelest thing I've ever seen. No one deserves that. I hope you're okay." That one message meant more to me than all her family's frantic calls combined. It was a little sign that I wasn't completely crazy, that someone else saw him for who he really was. So, to answer all of your questions from my first post, here's exactly what I did. Remember that folder of evidence I told you about? The emails, the proof he bought the exam, the stolen research paper, all of it. Well, I made 2 identical copies. They were beautiful. I had everything organized with tabs and notes. I put them into 2 big mailing envelopes. The morning after he got his final grades, I mailed them out. One went to the Dean of Student Affairs at his medical school. The other went directly to the State Medical Licensing Board. I sent them anonymously, of course. The letter I included just laid out the facts and said that as a concerned citizen, I believed a man with no integrity shouldn't be allowed to practice medicine. I knew that an official investigation takes time. They have to review the evidence, interview people, and follow a process. My whole plan was based on that timing. I knew the notification would probably hit him right after his graduation, right when he was feeling on top of the world. And that's exactly what happened. The board put an immediate hold on his application to be a licensed doctor pending the outcome of the investigation. And the university, now that they have proof he cheated, has started its own process to revoke his degree.